Welcome to the Global Citizenship Education Interview Series, where we engage visionary thinkers and transformative educators in conversations that matter. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Soyoung Park, a professional cellist and practitioner working at the intersection of arts-based education and public diplomacy. She's the founder of Harmony Beyond Borders, HBB, an initiative that explores how music can foster empathy, intercultural dialogue, and social cohesion across cultures and borders. Through HBB, Soyoung creates inclusive spaces where artistic practice connects individual experiences with a broader public purpose, contributing to a more compassionate and socially connected planet. Soyoung, a very welcome to the Global Citizenship Education Interview Series. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Emiliano Bosio, for such a beautiful introduction. I'm truly honored that you have shared my journey and background, HBB, so generously. Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure. And currently, my understanding is you're based in South Korea. Is it correct?
Yes, right.
Okay. So first of all, let me say that we are especially pleased to feature you in our new or nearly new section called Emerging Scholars and Practitioners. This section is particularly important because it embraces emerging practitioners, emerging scholars, individuals who are building step by step a contribution, a valid contribution to our societies. So thank you for that. That's a very interesting initiative that you are joining. And also, as you know, the series has reached more than 50,000 subscribers across educators, practitioners, schools, universities. So I'm sure that they also are interested in your perspectives coming from a sort of a creative space. And today, we begin our conversation with a special surprise that you prepared for our audience, which is a short cello performance that beautifully reflects the spirit of your work. Thank you very much. So let's begin with our conversation. The first theme I'd like to discuss with you, Soyoung, is harmony beyond borders and arts-based humanitarian practice, which in a way captures the essence of the important work you're doing. The question is, could you briefly introduce your project, Harmony Beyond Borders, and explain what inspired you to connect arts-based education with social cohesion and public diplomacy?
To begin, let me introduce Harmony Beyond the Borders, HBB. HBB is an initiative focused on social resilience and cultural diplomacy. We bring together restorative art and education to restore human dignity and rebuild community agency. I'm still in progress of establishing it. First, my inspiration for HBB didn't begin only with my last 10 years of my work. It began much more earlier when my mother taught me the value, love neighbors as like yourself. But I truly understood that idea when I was a university student and I went on volunteer trip to Philippines. During that trip, I visited Smoky Mountain. Did you hear that?
Yes,
One of
yes.
the one of the largest former landfill community in the world.
It inspired
So
several practitioners and individuals to advance
yeah,
sustainability and empathy towards community-based,
yeah,
yes, education. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there I realized very deeply that people needed more than bread. Mm. They needed dignity, hope, and sense that their life matters. I also remember walking for 4 hours along mountain paths to find one indigenous family. At first, I thought the whole journey was very inefficient, just only work, work. And I even complained, but then I realized, oh, I came all this way for this just one person, one family, because just we found one family. So at that moment, changed something in me. It became more than volunteering. It became the beginning of a lifelong practice of loving my neighbors. Uh, I had always loved my cello, and when I studied music education, I kept thinking about the relationship between art and education. So for me, music was never just a performance. It was always connected to human growth and relationship and running. Later, as a mother of children, I have 3 children. It began to reflect even more deeply on what is meant to nurture one life. And through that journey, I studied the culture and wisdom of Jewish education, Jewish education. So I came to see that education is not just only the transfer of knowledge. It is something much larger. It shapes a personal inner life and it shapes their relationship with others. And that reflection naturally led me into academic study. So my volunteer work in Egypt later also connected me more deeply to the Middle East. I wanted to understand the region better, so I pursue a master course in international regional studies, focusing on the history, religion, and regional relation of Middle East. So, all background, my mother's value, my educational philosophy, and my academic journey all came together. and form the foundation of my humanitarian work over the past 10 years. So I worked with the Syrian refugees in Turkey and later lived in Lebanon. So, and then in 2024, because of the war, so Korea embassy had to, they say, all Korean return to Korea. At that time, I had already been without funding for 6 months. I had to move many times also, my house moving a lot. So I was also teaching cello at university in Lebanon. So I decided to move to France and see it as a time for growth and transition. Of course, that was not just originally planned. So that's why I was in Paris. My first year in France last year was just mostly about keeping up with my just study. It was really hard, but the war did not stop there. So my friend and my education center, my student were still there. Just I watched the news. They were booming. So their life were still continuing in that place. What should I do? So through
You
that
mean your
experience,
students were still based in Lebanon?
yes, they were suffering like booming and
Yeah.
war. So just I had to watch just on the news. I couldn't do anything. So through that experience, I realized very clearly that personal goodwill has some limits. So what we need is a system that can continue even when I am not there. Yeah, sustainable system that can work anywhere, anytime. Just, yeah, I realize that. So my goal is not just simply to teach music and do performance. I want to restore the rhythm of life and rebuild the emotional infrastructure of social trust. Uh, where people have been broken emotionally, technical skill alone are not just enough, as we know. So relationship, dignity, and trust in community must also be rebuilt. That was what HBB is about. So through
Very interesting.
choir, yeah, ensemble and choir work and this broader educational model, children begin to feel that they are no longer alone because we are always sing together and play some instrument together, so no longer alone. They so they develop sense of we, not just me. So and that help shape identity and belonging. This is especially powerful in a society like Lebanon, where many different communities live together. Playing and listening together is not just only musical training. I believe that this is also a way of learning, respect each other and cooperation and how to live together. Yeah. So today I'm developing this model into educational toolkit and digital archive so that it can be applied in policy and field setting because it's like a system. So I believe
A
that what
framework, a very
we,
interesting framework.
yeah,
In connection
framework.
to this point, the framework, which by the way, being based on your own personal struggles and experiences is even stronger, because usually that originates from a personal experience and struggles. So that makes it even
Yeah.
stronger. So the question is about restorative art, empathy, and sustainable mindsets. The question specifically is how does Harmony Beyond Borders, restorative art philosophy help specifically
Yeah.
learners, communities, or young people develop
Yeah.
values of
Mm.
empathy, dialogue, and in
Mm.
general, a more sustainable mindset.
Yeah, yeah. So HBB's Restorative Art philosophy is about helping children move beyond the past wound and despair, some trauma, and instead begin building a future for themselves. We are very aware that, Venezuela El Sistema, yeah, has been an important model of social reconstruction through the art. So, building on that understanding, I have developed an approach that focuses more deeply on emotional recovery and formation of agency. So, I work with a three-stage framework. It's more practical. So first stage is a sensory awakening. In this stage, music helps stabilize the nervous system and help the children feel safe first, not just learning first. So it make a stability for children who have experienced trauma, and very first thing they need not just instruction, but stability. So yeah, the body can be relaxed and open. And then second stage is emotional expression. So this stage, children begin to express their feelings through ensemble work and dance and something very simple rhythmic gesture. Sometimes fear, sadness, or some loneliness, sorrow can be just explained in by word, as we know. So, but music give these feelings a safe way to come out. So, in that progress, children learned not to suppress their emotion, but to express them in healthy way. Yeah. And third stage is cognitive connection. Uh, Actually, we know we think they are just a survivor, but they also cognitive connection they need. Here, the children begin to recognize their own value and their future possibility, the realization and that I'm precious and I can shape my own life is a crucial part of healing. So I don't want children to remain only as a beneficiary. They got a lot, some aid. Some part is good, but some part is very not good because it could be, beneficiary. So I want them to grow into people who can rebuild their own lives. So also, I encourage responsibility through small habits such as cleaning their cup and organizing their shoes. This may seem simple, but it is very important. So this experience of organizing one shared space is connected to experience of organizing the life. So yeah, when small order begins, small responsibility follow, and that grow into stronger agency. I believe that just agency is not just about just running, about not just mathematics, something English, or not just that. Just through habits, something organize their selves. It could be strong, make a stronger agency. So we did it. Melodica Ensemble is a very clear example, this philosophy. So when children who produce different sound play with one breath, we play together one breath, and they learn harmony and cooperation and listening. So to me, this is a small model of a democratic community. I believe that. And to make these changes sustainable and scientific. So I'm developing a 4D mapping system. So
Very
yeah,
interesting.
maybe yeah, 4D mapping system is very important because this system visualize art and sound just pass. There is no something remark, but this system visualize and documents the cognitive and emotional changes that happens through artistic activities. I believe,
Is there
yeah.
any specific experience of one of your students who was able to sort of express herself or himself through the activities that you're doing?
Yeah. So, or or like this 4D mapping, just based on my experience, just now I'm developing, and just I would like to practice with my coming some project, not just past experience, but I had many experience, but just I'm look back that and just organizing and modeling, so I could be more clearly later. Maybe I can share more
You're
things
putting
my
together all
with
this experience.
yeah,
Okay, good. So this ties with the third question I'd like to ask you about
yeah.
art, intercultural dialogue, and global citizenship. Indeed, this is the Global
Mm,
Citizenship Education interview series. So let's try to connect the dots here with the important work you're
mm,
doing. The question is, in your view, how can art become a bridge across cultures
mm.
and borders? And what role can it play in nurturing global citizenship today?
Yeah, art reach the human heart before logic something does. So the borders of fear and hatred in people's memories can be stronger than the border on a map. So music is one of the gentlest and most powerful way to break down those invisible emotional some border. So I experienced this personally in Lebanon when I played cello for Filipino workers, not just only for refugees. They were lovers. So we didn't share the common language usually, but we felt a deep sense of solidarity. When I play, they just um, cry and smile. Just we felt very strong solidarity. In particular, at a cultural event led by the embassy, I saw how music could transform hard diplomacy into soft trust. So 2 weeks ago, I attended a leadership certification in global diplomacy forum in Brussels. I had the opportunity to visit, European Commission and European Parliament like that. And during this program, I observed how diplomacy work in real complex situation. So anyway, so I also brought some music with me. I performed there with my ensemble team and in front of more than 100 participants from 70 different countries. So when we play and sing together, we experience the power of music to create harmony, you know. So that moment remained me very strongly. Music is not just entertainment for something joy. Music is the language of diplomacy. So when we play
Interesting.
together, yeah, music turn hard diplomacy into soft trust. And that,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Is a sort
experience.
of a universal
Yeah,
language in a way.
yes, right,
That's what
correctly.
you're
Yeah,
suggesting. Very
yeah.
interesting. Okay, so we discussed harmony beyond borders, arts-based humanitarian practice, restorative art, empathy, arts, intercultural dialogue, and also how music can function as a universal language, particularly in diplomacy settings. Now, there is a final and at the same time challenging question,
Yeah.
but don't worry because all our guests will get the same question.
Ah,
Um, so it is about defining global citizenship. If you had to
mm,
define global citizenship in just three keywords, the three that
mhm.
matter most to you and to your life's work, what would they be and why?
Yes. For me, global citizenship is not just a theory, not by just heads. It is a way of living. I define it with three words. Uh, the letter starts D, C, A. Can you guess it? Yeah, first.
DCA.
Yeah. I chose these three words because HBB is not only about sharing art. It is about creating the language of restorative education that help people live their life. So, okay, let me tell you.
Okay.
So first, dignity, D.
Dignity.
Every
Okay.
human, yeah, every human being has equal value and every life is precious. So my mission begin with awakening this dignity. HBB begin by helping people see again that they are worthy and that they matter. So yeah, it's very important. And second, compassion. I like compassion, this word. Compassion is the power to soften fear, hatred, and debate, and to move toward others. It is an active heart, not just passive something, an active heart that respect different culture and feeling another personal pain as one's own. So in HBB, compassion is not just a feeling, it is a real force that reconnect a broken relationship and restore trust in the community. Yeah. And third one is agency.
Agency.
Uh, Agency. Yeah. I don't want to create a passive some beneficiary. Yeah. I want to help raise a leader. Refugees, not just only refugees. We cannot just say that, oh, you are refugees. They could be a leader. So people who know their value and who can take responsibility for their life in any circumstance. So that is core mindset of HBB. We are not only helping people survive by some materials. No, we are helping them become people who can rebuild their own life and their community, their nation. Yeah. So when we stand in dignity, connect through compassion, and live with agency, we become true global citizens. And that is the legacy I hope to live through HBB. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much. Thank you so
Soyoung
much.
Park, founder of Harmony Beyond Borders, HBB, an initiative that explores how music can foster empathy, intercultural dialogue, social cohesion across cultures and borders. Thank you for joining the Global Citizenship Education interview series.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Bosio, for this thoughtful conversation and for the opportunity to share my journey and my work at HBB. Thank you so much. It's too honor.